Hello, Cedric and Cedric here. CR Wrestling Commentary. We'll be reviewing NWA Powerrr. So we're gonna just jump right on in there here. The show opens up with Tyrus in the ring with Kyle, and getting big cheers from the fans. I'm like, okay, I mean, he's a wrestler. I think we like wrestling. We appreciate you being a wrestler, and I think that's really where it was coming from.
It was weird though.
Yeah, it was weird. And then he's just basking in it. And he enjoyed it. He was like, Kyle tried to talk and he's like, can I just enjoy this moment? And the crowd's like, yay! And then he's letting everybody know, look, there's a book signing and stuff. And he's like, hey, look, there's a kid that couldn't get a book, but I happen to have one book left. So he wants to go out, he spots the kid, tells him to come up. Tyrus gets out the ring. He meets him at the corner, on the floor. And he's like, so what's your name? He gets the name. And you want the book? And he's like, all right. And he said, this is a signed book. And it's all yours for $1,000. And see, when he was about to leave the ring and he said he gonna give that book to the kid, the crowd, the crowd, you can hear it was mostly dudes, I was like, if he turned babyface, I told you he'd be more over than God right now to that NWA audience.
But I'm telling you, when he said he was gonna, he had one last book, I'm like, you had a book signing. That means people were paying for books for you to sign. I don't think he gonna get his book away. that's what I was thinking.
I didn't know where it was gonna go. I'm like, you're a heel, but let's see what you're gonna do. I'm in it for the ride. I'm here for the ride, man. I got in the car. I'm gonna go where you want me to go. And he's like, yeah, for $1,000. You can have it. He's like, do you have $1,000? The kid put his hand up like, give me $1,000. It's like, you're the wrestler. You got money. And he's like, you ain't got the money. You can't get it. So he turned his back on the kid. And the crowd was like, oh, man, that's messed up. But the kid was all a little upset. And the crowd was kind of like, oh. And the kid started posing behind him and stuff. And Tyler's just like, I'm ignoring you.
Yeah.
And then he go into the fact there's going to be a slam challenge later. And he's got this.
But Kyle said that was messed up. And Tyler's like, if he had the money, I would have given it to him.
Well, yeah. He said life lessons.
Yeah, life lessons. I'm teaching life lessons.
Yeah, he said half of y'all don't even know what those are. But I was like, oh, man. He's getting his heel on, man. He was getting his heel on. I thought that was funny. It was mean, but it was funny. So I'm in for the ride, And then he's like, no one's ever slammed me. Watch your mouth, Kyle.
Because Kyle was getting ready to come out with it. Nah, but
dude did.
But he had Kyle by his head.
Yeah, like he loves to hold him by his head.
He does.
And so he introduced there's gonna be another slam challenge. This big dude, he's 7-some feet tall and all this.
Descendant of Andre the Giant.
Yeah, a distant
descendant of Andre the Giant.
So okay. So we're gonna get, we're gonna wait for that so they get on with the show. Okay. Oh, and Tyrus is like, I'm so confident I'm gonna put the TV championship, on the line. So if he wins, he'll win this TV championship. I'm like, okay. So he was like, I'm that confident. I'm like, all right. So they get to the first match. And that's Nick Aldis. And he goes against Brian Myers. So we're going to try to cut through all these pretty fast and stuff. I'm not going through play-by-play or none of that stuff. But the match was good. It was actually back and forth. Myers jump-started the match, attacking Aldis outside the ring. It seemed a bit personal. And he had fire. And Myers, he didn't slip. Everything was smooth. Didn't see any hiccups. Didn't even see any green, any of that crap. It all made sense. They fought. It was a fight. It was a wrestling match, and it was a fight. And these two, Aldis and Myers, they stayed in the pocket. They stayed close and beat on each other. But at the end, Aldis wins. Elevated Texas Clover hold. Well, I mean, he was standing up. It won't like, Tanahashi's, but
he didn't get it. He barely got it set for dude tapped out.
He was tapping, man. He was tapping.
I want to mention the one thing that I didn't like.
Oh, okay.
So Aldis was going up on the top rope, getting ready to come off the turnbuckle with something. And what's the dude's name he's wrestling?
Brian Myers.
Okay, Myers, what he does is he kicks the ref in the back of the leg. He makes the ref, it wasn't even staged. The ref fell.
It was a legit fall.
He fell sideways on the rope with the rope going up under his arm.
Which is not good.
So, the awkwardness of the fall, he could have hurt his knees. He obviously hurt his upper rib armpit area. And then after that, he was rubbing his right pec shoulder area on the arm he was having to count with.
Those ropes can separate your ribs. They can even break your ribs. You fall on them too hard. It's like getting punched. And when it jerks your arm up like that, and you're not prepared for it, that could dislocate a shoulder. It can tear muscle off of your pec or your bicep. I would say bicep for him, not tricep, because of the way his arm was angled. I mean, the way his knee was. If that rope weren't there, I think we'd be looking at a dislocated hip or torn ACL or something. Because the way he got kicked, he wasn't expecting it.
No, he wasn't. It looked really bad. And I understand that this dude is a heel. He's on the Cardona bandwagon. But to me, that was too much.
I mean, I don't know if, let's say, he was just, okay, on the spur of the moment, I'm going to do this. Or if the referee forgot the moment and wasn't prepared. It's hard to say.
Either is possible, but it looked bad.
I would think if the referee was prepared for it, he would have kicked the back of his leg. The ref would have dropped to both knees with his arms draped over the ropes, and then he'd fall back and out. That seems like something a little more plausible. And the ref can still take that small bump and be all right and to be controlled. So I don't know. Maybe that was some indie-rificness on his part. I don't know. But I don't know if he was ready for the spot and the ref forgot, or if it was on the fly right then. I don't know. I'm not there, And people in NWA, they don't tell any and everything like people in AEW. They don't go on Twitter and just say, "Hey, look at what I did, and this is why I did it." Mm-hmm. So that's going to be a mystery until somebody can stalk it down and tell what happened. But yeah, I didn't like that either. And I didn't say anything. I just saw you commented, and I was just like, man, I really hope he's all right. And he's rubbing his chest and arm area a little bit. And the ref did have that. Yeah, the ref had that look like, well, this is some bullshit. So I don't know if he forgot or it was just spur of the moment and he can't do anything about it. I don't know which. That's why I can't really call it. For those that are listening that watched NWA Power, and you saw that moment, let us know what you think happened. What's your verdict? And still, Aldis, he won. I wish he would sit down with that submission, just like you said earlier.
Yeah, it would be far more devastating if he just sat all the way down into it.
Yup. So next, we got the Slam Challenge. So TV champion Tyrus puts the title on the line against this big monstrous dude that comes out, and it's KC Rocks. Don't know him, but he's a meek looking man.
He's a little man. He's a lightweight man.
Totally opposite of what Tyrus described. Totally opposite.
Mm-hmm.
So, the guy, they get ready. Guy goes in. He's like, okay, I'm going to try to slam you. Tyrus pushes him off, starts leaning on the ropes, laughing and stuff. So the guy's like, all right, push-ups, get ready. Go in for another slam. Tyrus shoves him off, laughing about it. Guy gets ready, goes in. Tyrus holds his arms out like, here I am, slam me. Dude kicks him right in the balls.
Mm-hmm.
Got him pretty good. Tyrus dropped. And then ultimately, the dude was attacking him. He jumped on him like he should, but Tyrus overpowered him.
Easily.
Knocked him on his back and
stood on him.
Yeah. I mean, he got that heart punch, and when he hit that heart punch, the dude flipped over. I was like, that looked good. And then he stood on his back. I mean, that's just Cedric innovated that name because it's funny. It's just so simple. Just stand on your back.
Yeah. I don't know what else you can call it. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, usually the giant or the big wrestlers, they do it.
Yeah.
You know, Andre, Bad Luck Fale, Tyrus, Mabel, Kevin Nash, he's done it. So just, stand on your back. Let's see, where we at? Yeah, then Mims walks out, distracting Tyrus, and then Tyrus eventually kick dudes out the ring. So then he and Mims, they face off. He mushes Mims. Mims hits the ropes and comes back with a flying shoulder block, knocking Tyrus right off his feet. Really, Tyrus took a good bump. It'd be a good picture, a good still picture right before it clicked away from it. It was good camera work. Mims got up, started punching Tyrus in the corner and to a 10 count. Then got, after getting the hat on, got Tyrus' hat on. And then hit him one more time, got down. He goes to slam Tyrus, but Tyrus fights back with elbows and drops him, does a jumping elbow to the arm, and then puts him in an arm bar. Then Cyan runs out, but he attacks Mims, puts him in that rolling Death Valley driver, then holds Mims up, and Mims get heart punched.
Nobody saw that coming.
Nobody. Cyan, Austin Idol comes in, Cyan hugs him. Thus he has joined the group, and I'm like, if that's not your dad, if that's not your father, he's certainly your daddy. So it's whatever's going on is going on, and we'll get answers and whatnot at some point down the road. Maybe at Always Ready. Who knows?
I think Always Ready is this weekend.
It is, yes. Yeah. So then we get and see the matches are good. These matches are good. These moments are good. These setups are great. There's nothing. I mean, they all make sense, and they're all pushing the agenda of the matches and everything going forward. So they're doing great, and I'm happy about that. So then we get to the main event, and that's the tag team women's match. And I get how the tag team women's matches have been going and the singles matches have been going. Not exactly the best. They're all right, but not really the best. This match is the best. It did everything. This is Kamille and Kenzie Page versus Missa Tate and Kylan King. We've seen Kylan King before.
Like her.
Yep. Strong, good look.
Tall.
Yep. Lays her shit in pretty well. So we like that. Kamille, she's starting to get up in that point where she can working way stiff. Kenzie Page, she's lost so much weight between these seasons. And
she's been wrestling steadily, improving, working hard, building up her fan following.
Yep. Missa Kate, I can't recall ever seeing her before. Maybe she was here under a different name or something, but regardless, she's good. She's good. She
got good heel work too.
Yes. So this match, this was a tag team. This was a classic, well-oiled tag team match. The heels were heels. The baby faces were baby faces. The baby faces, as they would say, fought underneath that, got the hero's journey battle, doing their best they can. The one that took the beating was Kenzie Page in this one.
Yeah.
They waylaid on her and they trapped her. They cut the ring off and then they started tagging in and out rapidly and then taking their time and then picking back up the tag pace, tagging in and out. No double team moves really. Don't need it. Don't need it. They did great. Missa and Kylan, they worked very well. Kylan is going against Kamille at Always Ready for the Women's World Championship. Mm-hmm. So they got to build it up somehow. They've been slowly working at it. And this is that, culmination match. And I thought going into this, Kylan needs a win. But she can't beat Kamille.
Yeah.
So my thoughts were Paige finna do the job. You know, I didn't say anything. I just thought Paige is gonna have to do the job because you need your challenger to look like a threat. And so, eventually, after a lot of great wrestling and Kenzie getting a hot tag and the fighting and everything going smoothly, everything going well, Kenzie eventually tags in Kamille, but then miscommunication. Kenzie with a super kick, which lays Kamille out, which a super kick should do. For jabs would never do that. And after that, King gets her finisher on Kenzie Page, and then gets the win, and looks at the Burt, holds it, and Kamille takes quick issue with that, and they jaw jacking in the ring when it ends. So this show, it ended well. It ended right.
Great match.
Very, very good match. That's one of them few tag matches I could watch again.
Like I said, they both teams performed better than we've seen the Hex perform lately.
Yep. And as I said, the Hex been wrestling way too long to have not gotten their stuff together by now. So I'm glad to see this. Most likely won't see this team up again. But I thought it worked well. And Kamille looking great as usual. Repping North Carolina. Rep that. Rep it. So I enjoyed this installment of NWA Powerrr. You got in Aldis, he's after the title. I don't know if Cardona's healed from that, what they said was a devastating arm injury that could change the lineup. So we don't know what's really going on. Is he gonna wrestle hurt? Or is it so pre-recorded that he's fine? It's hard to tell. We'll just have to see for tomorrow. That's where I am. Like I said, I don't stalk this stuff. I'm not going to see if he's all right and all this. I'm like, we'll see it. Because I just watch the shows.
Yeah, we'll see it when we see it.
Yep. It'll be what it is when it is what it is. So we hope you enjoyed this. This has been Cedric Procedure for CR Wrestling Commentary, NWA Powerrr. It's been a good Friday. It's a good night. Y'all take care. Be safe. And see you next time.